Ready?
Yeah.
You look ready.
What is going on? Hope everyone's had a fantastic week. It has been a fantastic week for me, for Comicdom, for Fandom. There's been highs, there's been lows, there's been stuff in the middle that left me confused. But we'll talk about the Acolyte later. First, let's get this kicked off.
It got a participation prize this week, though.
It did. I assigned it one. It deserved an award, and that's the best you can give that show. Dude, I don't know how I came up with that. Participation trophy out of 10. Real quick, I'll say hey to some of the people in the chat. We got 8 people watching right off the bat. Appreciate y'all. What's going on, Las Crucias? Phil, what's up? What's up? Mr. Lee J. Dinks. Trev, the shipping guru, hello to you. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone has had a fantastic week. It has been a fantastic week. What is going on, Bogsy? The massive week for comics. We've had multiple shows releasing on a weekly basis now, which is really exciting. I made the thumbnail tonight. House of the Dragons is kicked off season 2. It's fantastic. I'm excited to talk about that a little bit later, as well as the Acolyte, which I'm excited to give it some praise. It's always fun. I always hope for good content. It's always a lot more enjoyable to talk about what we enjoy than being let down by stuff. So tonight, more or less, the Acolyte is good news coming from me. I'm excited to break down and avoid we'll mention a couple of the goofy things that occurred in. There are a couple things, but get into that. Talk about some new comic books, and a lot of news came out. A lot of things to be excited about. Some things that got cut short. But before we do that, I'm going to let Paul go and tell everybody what's going on this Wednesday night on his channel.
This Wednesday night on my channel, we have Guess That Key. We have, for our guest, besides Mark, who's there every week, we also have Burke Family 54 Comics. And making his first appearance, we have David from Mark Spector Comics will be on. So... and we got a huge giveaway again going on Wednesday night as well. So we got a couple foils going on, and we have the Geiger Deluxe Edition as well. So
be sure to check out my YouTube shorts. Ruby G here, phenomenal artwork that I got in. Dude's crushing it. Reach out to him. He does a lot of trading card art, but he also does covers too. Like he commissioned him to do you something awesome, and he'll do it for you. What is going on, Gary B? Hello to my Jersey boys, Steve White, T-Dubs. How are y'all doing? Hope y'all are doing well. So where do you want to start, Paul? There's plenty to talk about. I actually have a little list that took 2 seconds to make, just trying to remember everything from the week.
You want to do the TV shows first?
TV shows, news, or comics? What you want to do?
Let's do TV shows.
Starting high or starting low?
I'll take TV shows for 100, Alex.
All right, that gets you House of the Dragon. Phenomenal TV show. This is season 2 that's kicked off of the prequel. I mean, it's almost not even fair to call it a prequel. It takes place before Game of Thrones, but it's not like it's servicing Game of Thrones in any way. It's 170 odd years before the events of Game of Thrones kick off. But House of the Dragons, season 2, episode 2. So for one, since last week, Paul, you've caught up. So you fill us in on your thoughts of not just this episode, but of just the series as a whole. Like you have like 13, 14 episodes you watched in a week?
It'd be 12 because it was 10 in the first season and then 2 so far this season have released. So, I mean, it is intense. It is violent. It's a thriller. It is really, Marcus turned red. No,
I watched too much Acolyte.
I have to go back and catch up on Game of Thrones because I dropped off of Game of Thrones real early.
Yeah, I just learned this about Paul. He's only seen like a handful of season 1, and that is it.
Right, exactly.
But you still have that to look forward to.
Right, but I still knew all the names. I knew Targaryen. I knew Valeria. I knew Stark. I knew all those. The thing that gets to me is apparently only certain people age in these shows. Some people don't age at all. Other people do. Like obviously, the king the king aged throughout the entire.
He ages a whole bunch.
He aged, but the the younger guy, the captain of the Knight's Guard, the King's Guard or the Queen's Guard, he doesn't age at all.
Yeah, Cristobal or Christoph.
Cole, something Cole is his last name.
Crystal Cole. That
Yeah.
dude gotten a lot of fan hate. Like, a lot of these showrunners complain about hate and hate and hate.
Mhm.
People hate on me because of who I am. I made a show. No, this guy's actually got legitimate hate, death threats. He had to shut down his social media temporarily because people despise the character he plays so much. And this happens a handful of times in history where people just play a villain so well that it makes it difficult for viewers, fans
Right.
of the property to separate the two.
But it was unfunny because he didn't. I mean, his character has really evolved because the first season, he wasn't really necessarily.
Cold-blooded.
He didn't start as as a cold. He kind of he kind of fell off the wagon when he had sex with Renaria. That was his first thing. But then exactly, and now it's just I think he's fallen under his own weight of, and he says it actually in one of the I think it's in the last episode, I think, is the queen says to him, he says, who do you think I am? And she says, someone who's looking for absolution. And he says, there will be none for me.
None for me. And interesting enough, this character's first arc starts as a love interest for Rhaenyra.
Right.
And ultimately they separate because she was betrothed. And
Right.
she said, like, we have an agreement with the guy. Like, he's going to do his thing. I'm going to do my thing. We'll fulfill our sworn duties as a princess and a prince of our houses. But we are free to come, basically an open relationship. And he said, I will not be someone's boy toy, basically. I will not be your whore. Right. Fast forward, ultimately, he becomes the boy toy, the whore of, God, I'll never remember her name.
Yeah. The queen of the queen of the king that died there.
Alicia, something like that.
Yeah.
Alison. Is that it?
Something like that, yeah. Too many names. That was a big problem I had with season 1. Was it started off like there were just too many names to try to remember.
So many names. I remember titles easier than names, and those even change fairly quickly inside this this world.
Right, but now I mean he basically sent one of his the people that's under him to try and kill Rhaenyra, who ends up dueling with his twin. They both end up dead. So he's still not gonna. If that was his way to absolution, was to kill Rhaenyra for everything that happened, because he was basically in the queen's bed when he should have been protecting, the king in waiting or whatever. It was, he's still not going to be there. So, and then Matt Smith is just incredible in this.
Yes. Damon. I remember Damon.
Yeah.
Easily my favorite character. He draws all the air out of the room whenever he's on set. Like, it's just, it's impressive. You just don't know. Like when he came back from the, what were the islands that he was sent to storm in the earliest parts of season 1?
Yeah. Well, all the crabs and everything that were there.
Yes. Yeah. And he came back with a crown, and like the tension between him and his brother, the king. And he's like, I see you wear a crown. You call yourself a king? And like, he's looking over at the hand who was trying to maneuver him. And he just says, I know that there's only one true king, your grace. My crown, my title, this is all for you. And just hands it over. I'm like, golly. There's just, like you said, it's intense. It's really, really intense.
Yeah, and the special effects are great, and you never really know what's going to happen. I mean, when they killed Rhaenyra's youngest son with the dragon, that basically, yeah, exactly. Comes out of nowhere. Well, with the guy, it's Aegon, right?
They're all named Aegon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just Aegon the third, Aegon the second. It's like
eye patch.
The eye patch guy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, who wields the largest dragon that's alive?
Right,
by far.
Yeah, just totally destroyed her youngest son, basically coming back.
Yeah, it was wicked, and this show was all about the fallout of that. This episode, at least, was very much so about like the fallout of that, because Rhaenyra gets her revenge, not directly, but Daemon demands revenge and sends out a kill party to go claim a son for a son, and the son they end up getting is the young king's son. and it's shown off screen. I saw where online people were kind of pushing back against the show for copping out and not showing it, which in my mind is absolutely insane to request or expect the show to actually show you what exactly happens to this kid. They make it more than known, but this kill party goes into the chamber of the young prince where his mother is and hold her at the end of a blade and force her to point out which kid is which. And then they proceed to, with a knife, hold the kid down and decapitate him. And you can hear it. Like, the audio was sickening. And then later the kid is paraded through the streets to show everybody of King's Landing the savagery that is Rhaenyra and everything. But this show is just, it's just a tick for tat chess match between these two people that if only they had a direct line to each other to communicate, all of this could be avoided.
Right. Who were best friends at one time.
Very best friends. It's crazy watching how every major decision these two queens make are based off assuming the intention of the other one. When they're both like making all these reluctant decisions with the best of intentions and things just are not going right. It's just leading to more fighting and more violence and more death. But
yeah, and there's no need to. I mean, they show enough violence on there. I mean, there are plenty of times where not seeing the violence actually makes it more intense. Not actually seeing it.
Yeah, because we leave the room with the king's wife, like the queen, and she grabs the other child and she's running out, and the camera's with her, and you kind of leave the room as they're grabbing the kid. Now it's just they're just on the other side of a door frame, and you hear the act happening, and that was cinematically, like visually, it was an artistic choice that really just made the scene gut wrenching. It was just wild. Whoa, heavy spoilers. See, yeah, welcome to Sunday night.
This is a spoil. We always say it's a spoiler-filled look at the past week.
Let me read the title of the YouTube video y'all are clicking on. At Week's End, House of Dragon, the Acolyte, new comic books, spoilers, news, and reviews. Spoilers, news, and reviews. Go get them kitty cats. Yeah, every Sunday night. Full spoiler talk. Nothing safe here. But yeah, overall, where do you say this show hit for you, like rating wise? How many rings do you give season 1?
Oh, it was probably a good 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's hard to give something a perfect score, but I mean, this is about as good as it gets. I had to when I was just doing my little watch and review things I post on Instagram for episodes 1 and 2, I had to tone myself down. I'm going to give it an 8. I feel like I would definitely give it more, but I know this show is going to show us more. It's going to deliver more. And if I give it more than an 8, I'm going to have to make up numbers that don't exist before this is all over with.
Which is not surprising because typically when you get a series, it doesn't really get its footing because the first episode or 2 episodes is really kind of just introducing you to everyone in the world necessarily and everything. So you don't get to a lot of the heavy, this had the advantage of having had Game of Thrones ahead of it, but still even that, you had to meet the Hand, you had to meet all of those characters, and things like that. So typically you don't come out of the gate as a 10 necessarily.
Yeah. It also helped that it's like a direct, if you were binging this, there's no break in it. There's no time jump between seasons. There's time jumps in the show, which I thought was really clever because where a lot of people were like, it's a prequel to Game of Thrones. It's set before it, but it's so far before it that it's really not, in my mind, it's not like a lead-in, it's not like a where were they a few years ago Game of Thrones. You see, during the Targaryen era, they ruled for many, many years in Game of Thrones. The only Targaryen we know of ruling is the Mad King that came and went, 17 years before the start of Game of Thrones. So it's cool seeing the Highborn being the Targaryen family and seeing how functional it is and how different it all is from actual Game of Thrones, because the dynamic of life and society, it looks very similar, but it is so different. It's just the way that they come and go, the way that they're plotting war. In this, they're not counting the size of their army or their ships, or they're simply counting dragons. They have this many, we have this many, but they have that one big one. Well, if we And I like the reluctancy of them not wanting to make these dragons fight, because it's not something that they would typically do with each other. But I don't know. I can't tell all the super blonde people apart. Fair. Super fair.
Exactly.
I want a Westeros story when that first world gets cars. That'd be funny. But yeah, it was fantastic. I enjoyed it. We're watching the reaction for the ruling family to the death of their child.
Mm-hmm.
The tit for tat going back, sending an assassin in the form of a twin brother, where one has stayed with the House Green and one went to House Black and pledged their loyalty there to infiltrate and kill Rhaenyra. And we got Rhaenyra, and we got a fantastic duel between the twin brothers, ultimately leading to the death of both of them. So both of them are off the table now. And the king fired the hand, who was his mother's father. It's his grandfather. Mm-hmm. And gave the position of the hand to none other than Lord Dickbag, Chris Cole. Like, right. This guy.
Which, when I first saw him, I was like, okay, that's the Jon Snow character, because I know Jon Snow. In the very first episode, I'm like, that's the Jon Snow character. And then he turned it out to not be Jon Snow.
It turned out to be a crazy version of Jaime Lannister, like the Kingsguard and everything.
Right.
The twin fight was definitely
hardcore. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the girl who played the younger Rhaenyra, she's the one that's playing Supergirl, right?
Millie Alcock. Millie Alcock. She's Supergirl. She was the one when they were posting all that stuff, like the final 3 acts, like her. She's the one. Like that's Kara. That looks like Kara to me. Like, I don't know. She's got the stature for it, In Game of Thrones season 1, that actress was like 20 years old or 21. She's just small frames, like shorter person. Like, I think that would translate so well to having one of the most powerful entities on the planet in such a small package. It's not the size, it's the way that they process that sunlight.
Right, but it's the younger Rhaenyra.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. The little girl who looks like a little girl, but she's actually in her 20s.
Right.
Like that kid to me looked 14. When I was watching that show, when I was watching season 1, I literally stopped it to Google that actress to check her age before I continued watching that show. I'm not saying that jokingly. Like, that's something I legitimately did. Like, how old is this person? I don't know what I'm not comfortable watching this all of a sudden. I need to check on something.
Am I doing something illegal right now?
Yeah, and it still didn't make me feel any better. At least I knew I wasn't breaking any laws, but it's still like, It was a little rough, a little explicit at times. But all in all, I'm excited for tonight's episode. I don't know if I'll watch it tonight or tomorrow. Either way, I'll watch it within the next 12 hours, that's for sure, and see where it goes from here. I don't know how many episodes are in this season. You said there's 10 in the first season.
Yeah. My guess is there's got to be at least 8, if not 10. So
I wonder how long this show is scheduled to go for. Game of Thrones went for a lot of years.
Like 7 or something, right?
Yeah, it never faltered until the end. They outpaced the books.
Right. And it's funny because, again, I mean, even though I didn't watch Game of Thrones, there was enough going on in the zeitgeist to know certain things. And so like the guy who's the king now, the young kid, I'm like, hey, that's Joffrey.
Not the same Joffrey. Oh, you mean back from, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, he's the Joffrey character from in this show.
Yeah, geez. What a weird story arc. And like they had to drag him kicking and screaming out of the place when the end of season the end of season 1 when the king died, and then Alysanne and her father were both racing to get to him first. And they were trying to instill like their will on the now king and had to drag him out of the house or that building that he was hiding in. That house comes into play. That building is a specific place out of Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
Enjoyed it. Who else in the chat is watching it other than aggressively relaxing? Drop your scores. Let's see. Out of 10, what would y'all rate this most recent episode? And then switching gears from it's not just TV, it's HBO to this shouldn't be on TV with Disney Plus, The Acolyte, episode 5. Gotta say, all in all, I enjoyed this episode.
if you were as boring as the episode before it was, and I really thought it was boring. That was his biggest issue. It was, you know, apparently, um, Chimere or whatever, however he pronounces his name, Darth Keith. Apparently, he trained for like 4 months to do to do those fights. Um, so, um, but it begs the question: is he really a Sith? Um,
Oh, Taylor said 5. Oh, I liked it. Sorry. Was thinking the twin slap fight in Acolyte. Yeah, we had a twin slap fight in there too.
yeah.
Dirge gives it an 8 out of 10. Easy. T-Dubs gives it 8.5 for Dragons. Let's go. Yeah, the Acolyte as a whole, it's no secret. Like, I post my thoughts. I share openly. It is Star Wars frustrates me or makes me, I either love or I'm just utterly frustrated with Star Wars stuff. And Disney is giving me both back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah,
But this
there's just so many. I mean, one, you would think that a Jedi would sense that the person that with them is not the same person that they were before. Even though they're identical twins, you would think that they would be able to sense that there's something wrong with this version of May or wherever in front of
the
me.
force they're tapping to in is two separate
Yeah.
different energies. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least that's what we've been presented and shown for 50 plus years of existence. Not today.
I am happy though to see that, for May, if this thing with the Jedi doesn't work out, she can always be a barber.
Yeah. I'm with T-Dubs on this. No matter, like, legit, no matter how like bad quality gets, I'm so interested and invested in Star Wars that I still want to know what that next, whether it be 30 minutes worth of canon you're releasing or whether it be a 2-hour movie you're releasing that's canon. I still want to see what's happening with the lore. What is going on? House of X Entertainment. Good to see y'all in here tonight. Hope y'all are doing good. What's going on, Marcus? But for this one, I definitely do want to start and talk about the high notes first because they heavily overwhelm anything negative about this episode. But it was pure fight. The last episode ended with them facing the stranger, as he's titled, this questionable dark side character, this Sith, Smilo Ren, as people have dubbed him on the internet, with the corny mask that once you see it in use in its utility, it was actually pretty badass. I don't like the teeth. That's weird as hell. But seeing the actual mask be part of the fight, I thought was great. There is how many Jedi? Like 7 Jedi sent out on this mission, and he slayed all of them but one in style.
But then he couldn't handle a couple bugs flying around him.
No, couldn't do that.
Do you think he is a Sith?
I don't think that in this time and place, these people have the proper names to identify themselves.
Well, doesn't he say though? Some people might call me a Sith. He actually says that.
I think he told Saul, "You would call me a Sith."
Right. But I don't think he is either, because first of all, the Sith. I mean, if there's one rule that you can't break, although maybe they may try, is there's always the rule of 2.
It's already been broken.
Yeah.
That's been broken. Darth Maul was brought back during the Clone Wars. There's other Dooku's in the Clone Wars. The Emperor's in the Clone Wars.
Right, but there's a master and right, and so Darth Maul was someone's Padawan, right?
Well, during the Clone Wars, stay with me. You had the Emperor, and who was his Padawan, or who was his apprentice? Dooku.
Yeah.
And then Darth Maul was brought back to life.
Okay.
Dooku wasn't killed till the end of the Clone Wars. So there's 3 right there. Is Darth Maul not a Sith? Did he get de-Sith?
I don't know. He's Darth, so he's got to be a Sith, right? Because you don't get the Darth thing unless you're a Sith. That's one of the requirements. That's one of
the things.
That's like Sith 101.
Yeah. So the rule of 2 thing got destroyed along the way already, but I don't know. And in my mind, it's a cop out. Like, they've copped out heavy. And this isn't a Disney thing. It's just happened along the way. They've copped out of that with Inquisitors. They copped out of it with the Knights of Ren. You're literally just saying these are Sith that weren't calling themselves Sith. They're practicing in the dark side and training in the dark side. They just don't use the title of Sith. Sith specifically identify as the people that use the dark side, and their sole purpose is to overthrow the Jedi and to rule the galaxy. So I don't really know. I think that the term Sith is too loose. It's become watered down, and it's annoying watching people say, "Well, they didn't say Sith, so it's not a Sith, and they didn't break a rule." Like, dude, it's a freaking Sith.
Right. If it walks like a Sith and talks like a Sith and quacks like a Sith.
Red lightsaber, like why do they have to have a red lightsaber if they're not a Sith? You know, just here we go. The thing a lot of people are pointing out on the internet is they play the Kylo Ren theme at one point when he picks up his helmet. So maybe Ren? Maybe, and they're just Sith. They're just Sith. That's all they are.
How could he be Kylo Ren?
No, a knight, like the start of the Knights of Ren.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Yeah, because the Knights of Ren are tied to the Disney era stuff. So maybe they're going to kind of like tie it to some early Knights of Ren stuff. Mm-hmm. But the fight scenes, the choreography was fantastic in this. I want to give it all the flowers, all the credit. Good job, Leslie Headland, because that crazy showrunner that's delivering us this dumpster fire. I like behind the scenes stuff, so I watch it when I find it every week. And I saw her in an interview talking about how when she was getting like everything together and all that, she wanted to address the lightsabers, because throughout the entirety of the Disney era, they have had these. This is their excuse, at least. The lightsabers reused now are heavier and bulkier. They can't really spin them and do this like they did back in the prequel days because like the light in them and blah, blah, blah. All I hear is excuses. You're telling me that technology got worse in 20 years? It doesn't make sense. So she requested that they redesign them and lightweight them and stuff so they can actually wield lightsabers like it's supposed to look. And it looked like it was supposed to. They were spinning them, they were fighting, they were athletic, they were acrobatic, and we actually saw some stuff we've never seen on screen before.
Yeah, I mean, how does he? I mean, where did that ability to basically like strut out someone's lightsaber for a little while go to?
So that's the actual metal that his helmet's made out of. I'll never be able to pronounce it, but Aggressively Relaxing can drop it in the chat. It begins with a C. It was introduced in the lore in the extended universe stuff in the 90s. So I think that's awesome. So like the fact that people like, including myself, are whining about them crapping on lore. See how cool it is when you do something with proper lore. So it was like this metal just shorts out the lightsabers for whatever reason. I don't know if it reacts to the kyber crystals or what. But when they were swinging, he was literally headbutting lightsabers like to block, and he had some on his wrist too, so he could block with a gauntlet, and it was freaking awesome. And then, like watching them shocked, I'm shocked. Like, yo, wait, what? It was super cool. We also saw for the first time, he has like it was almost like, what is it, like the samurai that have like the long sword and the short sword? He had like the ability to take the bottom half of his hilt off and make a short saber out of it. Sledge, I'm going to disagree with you all day. They weren't swinging at nothing. It was legitimately good choreography. Like there's no way that you can pretend that was bad. Watching that little X-23 girl go ham one-on-one with him with the two lightsabers and stuff, like thinking they're swinging at nothing, you would have to go crucify the fight on Mustafar.
Cortosis.
It was not bad at all. Fights were not good. People swinging at nothing, kicking when you should be stabbing, watching someone kill your allies, and him blocking horny girl with his, what is that, bracer, and not shorting it out. Bad. Not at all. Not bad at all. It was wicked awesome. And watching him like turn her into a bowling ball, that was cool too. Like just three little send her on. Yeah, she was super confident. She's been super confident this whole little series, dunking on the Jedi Knight who's her superior, talking down to him, all this and that, and that confidence didn't save her in this. Cost her life. It was really cool too. The block and just pull the second sword out, and he didn't slow down. Like there was no like build up to the deaths. Like they would just occur. Like you would just be watching, then nope, they're dead. Like I thought that was, they always want the dramatic effect, and the quick neck break of Yule, the stabbing of X-23. It was wild. Dude wipes out a bunch of Jedi Knights. Then a girl that was training the day before with a stick gives him the toughest fight. Bro, that has no bearing on it whatsoever. Like, you think talent isn't like inherent in some people? You think Yoda like started out as bad at lightsabers? Like, you go out on a soccer field and you can take people out there that are just naturally better at it than people that have been training. Like, makes no difference that she's actually more skilled at something than somebody else. Like, Mace Windu was known as the best lightsaber guy ever. I wonder if he's been training as long as Yoda has. Yoda's hundreds and hundreds of years old, has no bearing on the time of your training. A lot of it has to do with your ability, that your inherent abilities. Didn't bother me at all. It was her attitude that bothered me. Her Jason Todd like attitude toward her superiors. They needed to put her in some get right, and she got it. They got it. That's a good point, Joe. Going back to that. If you watch the prequel specifically, because there's more Jedi present in the prequels, you watch numerous Jedi Masters get wiped out effortlessly by the Emperor. Effortlessly. But then you see Anakin go balls out with Obi-Wan for like 40-minute fight scene. Like, how long has Obi-Wan been training? But Anakin,
Right?
Not even focus, to make him his new apprentice. But Maul fought Ahsoka, and that was when Order 66 took place. We're not to see Maul again until Rebels, where he finally met his end against Obi-Wan. Best part of the fight was Darth Jacksonville having to pull out the other blade because there was no match for Padawan walking in the fight. She won that fight, and that was great Star Wars. I'm not sure who Darth Jacksonville is. Okay, I get it. Darth Jacksonville is just the bad guy. Like, him actually having to pull out the second saber to drop this little wild child Padawan she was just good. She was just good.
I would just call him Darth Ezra Miller.
Mm-hmm. Next villain better have a fleet of Cortosis full bodysuit, right? Why aren't people just rocking this stuff regularly? It better be rare or something. They need to address it. But that is like again, one of the downsides to the writing in this show. Like, there's no context. They don't explain how that's happening. They don't explain after the fact. It's one of those things. Like, if you know, if you didn't know, you're able to look it up really easily. Star Wars information is readily available. But I love seeing them put in proper choreography, actually addressing the behind the scene issue with the lightsabers. It only took them a decade to catch up to what people have been asking since episode 7 released. What is going on, Mr. Beckerman? They're implying it's rare by the fact that Jedis have never seen it before. Yeah. That's fair enough. It's a big universe too. Big universe. Mm-hmm. And then the fight scene, I liked. I like the fact that you saw him impale the one Jedi Knight and force grab the other one onto the saber and then seamlessly around. And that was again good. That was good camera work right there, because the camera was smoothly moving through that scene. And right when he spins around for the double decapitation, it shifts him behind the tree, because all in all, this is a Star Wars show. This is not House of the Dragon. So that was smooth to hide the double decapitation behind the tree. Thought that was pretty solid. But then we get to the bad part, and that's where people talked, which is unfortunate. May, who in the last episode, out of left field, completely unprompted, with no build-up, decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to turn myself in. My sister's alive. I'm going to go meet up with a Jedi. I think I'm going to do that. I trust him. I've spent my entire life wanting to kill him, but I'm going to go hang out with them now. Well, as soon as the Jedi show up, she tries to kill him, tries to fight him for her life, trying to get away from Darth Milo Ren, Ezra Miller, whatever you want to call him, or for whatever reason. She's definitely not trying to meet up with the Jedi all of a sudden, so we flip back and forth again. May and Osha have like a kind of a corny little talk, and they have a slap fight, and May knocks her out, uses the lightsaber to seamlessly cut her hair to look identical to Osha's, which was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And then
people didn't know that a lightsaber could do that too.
Yeah. And then just wanders up to LaSalle, like, hey, remember me? I've been with y'all for this whole adventure. And he's like, yeah, you have. Let's go. Like what? So that was ridiculously dumb as well. So pretty much any time that they were trying to service the story, it was just face palming. But luckily, the vast majority of the episode was a pretty gratifying battle getting to watch.
It was definitely the best episode I thought so far.
Hands down. Not even close. I do. I've got Toroks. Keep Toroks on deck. I got this Turok right here. I'd like to show it off. Jurassic Park Acetate. Double signed by Bart Sears and actual Dracula.
Daddy, I'm getting cold in my tent. Did you know that?
Is this because you got the fan rocking in there?
Yeah.
Good.
Come look.
I'm not.
It actually has a piece of the back of like that.
Oh, so you get the airflow through there? It's tent night in the living room. Finn and Monkey have separate tents, and Finn built his via a fan so that it blows air in there. He's very proud of himself. I'm proud of you.
Nice.
What is going on, J-Man? Hope you are having a great weekend as well. So we're going to see lightsaber barbers in the future. We've already seen them.
Barbers.
Yeah, we've already seen them. Let's see. When we meet Pelagius for the first time in his book, he kills his master in a Cortosis mine. So another connection to the Legend Sith canon. There we go. Yeah, one of one. One of one. The most expensive Turok book that exists. Yeah. So we have one more episode of this to suffer through?
More than one, I think.
What?
That was only episode 5, I think, right?
Wait, there's more than 6?
I thought there was 8 for some reason.
Oh, man, I wish it would have just ended. Yeah, we haven't got the purple lightsaber whip yet. That's still to come.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh well. Moving on to other things. I gave this episode a participation trophy out of 10 because they tried. They tried.
On the plus side for Disney, Inside Out 2 is now over $1 billion.
Wow. That's really impressive. Yeah, Pops took the kids to go watch it Wednesday or Thursday. Took them to Outback Steakhouse, a splash pad, then to go watch Inside Out 2. They both loved it. Pop said it was pretty good too.
First movie since Barbie to make more than $1 billion worldwide.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Performing in is that primarily domestic, or is it doing good in the international market?
Internationally.
Yeah, that's mainly where movies that get traction like that perform.
Mm-hmm.
So what? It's probably like, I'm guessing close to 300, give or take, domestic.
I think better than that, but one moment, I can tell you. It is 469 actually.
Oh, that's
domestic,
really good.
And 545 international.
Yeah, AR said it was great. Yeah, I like the first one. First one was a little emotional roller coaster. Well, let's move on.
Okay.
Beyond House of Dragons and the Acolyte, all those Godzilla covers we talked about last week, they've been revealed.
Mm-hmm. Still kind of
Yeah. I'm a MonsterVerse maniac, but I'm still just sticking with getting that one Hulk one, that Avengers one featuring Shin Godzilla, with the unhinged bottom jaw and the purple. Yeah. That was great, but still not getting it.
The thing that got me, the ones that I saw, and I didn't see all of them, but the ones that I've seen, it almost seemed, to me, if you're going to do a Godzilla cover, Godzilla's got to be the main part of the cover. To me, Godzilla almost seems like the secondary character on all the covers.
Yeah, it's a little. They're not bad. I don't think they're bad. They're just. I'm glad that they're doing it. Get some more people into Godzilla stuff. Godzilla stuff's rocking and rolling right now. Like the monster books are doing amazingly well. And King Kong's not far removed from public domain. He's getting close as well.
Yep.
Can't even imagine how cool that's going to get.
This Thursday, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire comes out on Max this Thursday.
Oh yeah. If anyone hasn't seen it yet, I've had that on digital for months now. Saw it, of course, in theaters. I've got my 4K copy. I ended up getting. I shared it on the channel, but I got the Godzilla Kong MonsterVerse box set. They released a new 4K box set with all the films in it in this prestige packaging that folds out with tons of great artwork on it. Comes with a Blu-ray, the 4K tons of special features. I'm like, that was a must get. And I got that from that Groove, what's called Groove Entertainment
Groove
website.
Entertainment.
I cannot speak highly enough about this place. You can place your pre-orders there. They do the nice sets, the standard releases of stuff, steel books if they're optional, and you can pre-order and they'll ship it to you as soon as they have it in hand. They do not wait for street dates. You will, from what I understand from how Paul's have come in, and as well as mine, I got mine a week before its shelf date.
Yep. And their prices are pretty comparable to Amazon. So.
What is going on, Paul in the 619? Hope you're having a happy Sunday as well. What is going on, Dan? Can we borrow an idea from the days of Spike TV? Do lightsaber battles kind of like Deadliest Warrior? Dude, Deadliest Warrior was so cool. That show was awesome. They would take like two opposing warriors, and they don't always have to be warriors, and they would do statistics on them and then run simulations on them over and over, and see who comes out. Then they would dramatize the fight. And my favorite one was when they did like the mafia versus God, who was it? They did like 1920s mob versus like Russian something, but it was really cool.
The Yakuza.
Yeah, I think it was the Yakuza.
Okay.
In all sincerity, it was like the American mob versus the Yakuza, and like we were like using Tommy guns and Molotov cocktails, and the Yakuza were so well disciplined that they couldn't predict or withstand the raw savagery of like the 1920s Chicago mob, you know. Check out Guy Ritchie's The Covenant on Prime. It's criminal that there isn't more talk about it. I have Prime, but just on like the TV. I don't have it on my mobile device. I probably need to rectify that one day. So I don't keep up with like The Boys and stuff. It takes a lot of, it takes some planning and effort to watch stuff like where the kids are, you know, and so it just makes it a little more difficult. So I've not seen it when it comes out in March. That was the time I was out of a job. Oh man, you're in for a treat. Then you're in for a treat. It's a blast. All right, moving along. Those covers. Did we talk about the Ultraman and Rick Flag set photos last week? Was that one out yet?
I don't believe so. No.
So there's more Superman set photos out there, and I don't think they're going to stop as much as they probably should. But featured in one of the most recent one is a photo of Superman being ushered down the streets by the military. He has his hands behind his back, assuming in handcuffs. And to his left is the character, the engineer, that has been confirmed from the authority to be in the film. To his right is Rick Flag Sr., played by Frank Grillo, who is the actor doing the voice of him in Creature Commandos, as well as confirmed to be in Peacemaker Season 2. But standing slightly behind him is, looks like Black Noir from The Boys, but with like beady little goggle eyes and a silver U on his chest. You seen this, Paul? I'm assuming you've seen it.
I have seen it, but I'm trying to. I had heard that it's not Ultraman.
Yeah, you thinking of Ulysses?
Ulysses, yeah. He looks more. I mean, character-wise, the costume looks more like Ulysses than it does Ultraman.
It does. Just because it's black. Let's see if I can make this work. So, and I'll share my, hopefully this comes in. Let's see. Did I get it? Did I get it? No, is it really going to do this? Why does it always do this when I'm streaming? It always wants to make a web file out of stuff. Let's just do it this way. Screen grab. I want you. There we go. So there are a couple of dilemmas with that. With this character being Ulysses, or with this character being Ultraman even. But there's like a blurry, so it's just an all black suit, covered gloves, covered head, covered eyes even. And if you look, he looks pretty bulky. He looks built. He looks about the exact same height as David Cornysweat, or whatever the actor's name is playing Superman. But the problem is like some stuff that was coming out long before this photo ever did. That a secondary Superman is the villain played by Cornsweat. And that's what has it doesn't really matter who it is. It's going to be like, I think they're going to pull like a Superman and Lois kind of amalgam of characters. I think it's going to be a clone created by Lex Luthor think it's going to go by the title of Ultraman. I think it's going to be his lapdog that goes rogue, and Superman ultimately has to fight it down. It goes bizarro. I think it's going to be like kind of a mixed match of those things.
Could be.
That's just what I'm willing to bet. What does 420 mean? Review at a channel, and on April 20th, they should have played episode 45, but they called it 420. Is this a special number? I would recommend Googling it. There's multiple meanings to 420.
Yes, I was going to say there is definitely a meaning for 420.
It's Hitler's birthday. It's a lot of things. It's anniversary of a very tragic day in American history.
The slang? Did you say was a slang for marijuana?
Yeah, National Smokeout Day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's where I'm willing to bet. From what I've heard about the plot details of this movie, like they're, and this is the part that has me most upset. It sounds like they're kind of bastardizing Kingdom Come for this movie, which I hated when Marvel did that to stories. I absolutely hated it. Tell your own story or tell the comic story. Don't take 4 different comic stories and wedge them into one. They were successful comic stories because they weren't wedged into other stories. And I'm thinking that we're going to get like a Superman a couple of years into his tenure as Superman. When he arrives, he's not the first. There's a whole litany of characters with powers operating, much like in Kingdom Come, how like the next generation does not hold to the same high moral value standards Superman does. And he's going to be ostracized by him because he has these high morals, and he's going to have to, through the events of the film and holding true to himself, end up being the one that takes the mantle above the rest. So I don't know. It's going to.
Yeah, we also saw.
First introduced before he got a suit torn. Yeah. Have you seen Superman and Lois as well? What they did in that curveball, major curve, and then they came back to it. Then they brought it all the way back. That Bizarro Doomsday was amazing.
We got our first look at David Cornsweet as Clark this week too, right?
We didn't have that before?
I don't think so. I think we just had the new suit, the new suit last week, I think.
Yeah, we got the shot of him walking down the street, glasses, curly hair, kind of bumbly looking. Here it goes. I hope we don't get much stuff between now. They need to chill. They need to stop. They're killing everyone's. They're killing everyone's everything with this film. Just save it for a trailer. It has to be intentional. The way that all these photos are coming off the set and everything, there has to be, because James Gunn has worked numerous super closed sets with Disney.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I mean, most of these, there's a couple issues, though, is all of these have come when they've been filming in the city of Cleveland, in downtown Cleveland.
All those tall buildings.
And almost all of these pictures have come from a Cleveland newspaper that we've seen, not from anything that James Gunn has approved of.
They still know how to shut down a set, though, right? Or is that just like an Atlanta thing? They know how to shut down a set.
Oh, they shut down a set, but to your point, you get those telephoto lenses. You could be in a building, 2 or 3 blocks away and get those pictures,
I was trying to think of how many. We didn't see any set photos from Spider-Man.
Right. It's Chris Pratt as Ultraman. He did say again that this week that he would be more than happy to appear in a DC movie. So you never know. I don't know. To me, I think that we would, if he was going to be in something by now, I think they would have told us. But you never know. Who knows? Hopefully, they are saving something. So
yeah, anything, just one thing at least.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be within the next 2 weeks. We'll see set photos of Guy Gardner or Hawk Girl. Who knows? But on the other hand, we have Deadpool that's intentionally releasing stuff, showing us big events from the movie. Just 2-3 days ago, we got another TV spot trailer featuring Tyler Mane Sabretooth from X-Men, the movie from 2000, which was great to see him back in the makeup. facing down Wolverine and charging each other for the trailer to end right before they come into contact. So a battle 24 years in the making. A rematch has been Sabretooth won round one with him, threw him off the Statue of Liberty, completely tore him up. So I don't think Sabretooth's going to bode well in this fight. I bet it's going to be quick over, and that trailer hyped up a big nothing burger. That big pep talk from Deadpool just for it to be like a one and done kind of fight.
Yeah.
But it was still cool seeing him. And another thing coming from the Marvel Studios, Young Avengers, they've been like kind of working up to this. They replaced Hawkeye with Hawkgirl. They got Miss Marvel. You got Ant-Man replaced with his daughter Ant-Girl. You got what other characters did they introduce?
They kind of hinted at Iron Lad, and
we got Riri. We replaced Iron Man with the little Iron Girl. So we got all the little girl version characters of all the characters you love, and they're setting them up to do the Avengers at the end of the end of the Marvels. They sent Kamala Khan out and they kind of redid and paid homage to the Nick Fury ending for the first Iron Man with her recruiting. So they're going up to the Young Avengers. It's officially canned.
Yeah.
As of this week. That pulled the cord on that. I think we all dodged a bullet. Now I'm wondering if what'll be next from any of that.
Yeah, and the other thing too that I read this week too was all of the reshoots that they're doing in Captain America 4 has now ballooned 365. I read 365.
365. Wow, even higher. Yeah, so Captain America Brave New World has now you got to leave Avatar out of this conversation, but besides that, this upcoming film starring Brad Pitt about is it Formula drivers is supposed to be like the highest budget a movie's ever seen with over $300 million reported starting budget. This Disney Marvel movie has ballooned beyond that with 365. That's crazy. Dude, why? I don't know how they haven't just said stop.
Yeah, it's almost like they shot a whole new movie, is what they're saying.
That's more than three. Oh my God. That's like 21 Godzilla minus ones. That's insane. Only takes one F1 car to make that budget. Those things are stupid expensive. Yeah. Over 365 is absolutely insane. Yeah, this is coming from a Hollywood guy here. He knows about movies. Yeah, as long as we get Agatha, we're golden. And we got our first photos from Agatha All Along, reported by Empire Magazine this week. But man, I don't even know if I want to watch it at all, even to review it.
I probably am not.
We're sorry to the viewers that were looking for it. Who knows what'll happen? I might watch. It depends on how life's going at that time. I've been saying my big prediction for Marvel is after the 3-movie story arc of Ant-Man realizing how awesome he is, he starts an Avengers team with the new generation of heroes. That's an actual movie, man. It was an animated film, I'd say 16 or 17 years ago, called The Next Avengers. You remember that? Do you ever watch that animated feature where the old ones are dead and it was their kids? Yeah. And it was I think it was Banner that was their guardian. They had no idea he was the Hulk. He hulked out at the end, though. It was dope.
How do you not know?
Because he was just an old Banner dude. They never knew him. Bewitched and said, I'm so hoping Agatha is amazing. ... Yeah, that's still I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around $360 million. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around $180 million for the Acolyte. That makes no sense.
Not Disney?
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't they owe people money at this point?
They owe somebody money. Good news. Legendary, I guess it's Legendary announced that Denis Villeneuve's next film got a release date of December 2026, and everyone was wondering, is this it? Is this the official release date for Dune Messiah? Is that when we'll be getting it? Well, it was then reported after the fact that August 2025 is when Dune Messiah production kicks in. So yes, we have a confirmed release date for Dune Part 3 December 2026. Cannot get here soon enough. I know. Think how good it'll look, though. How do they say it? Let them cook. Oh my gosh. I have about 10 copies of her first appearance and first cover I want to cash out. There you go. I'll review Agatha and send you a picture of my general opinion. She's going to send me the poop emoji. I know what you're going to do, Dan. Oh, we also got a street date for the next Godzilla X Kong movie. You know, I thought that they would have had this out a lot sooner, but this has a release date of March 26, 2027, which absolutely blew my mind.
Oh, I called it my brain. I said 27.
That's a long time to wait.
Get your tickets now.
If they were on sale, I would.
Exactly. And Mark's going on Thursday night.
I'm already looking forward to it. I bet Toho can get another one out by then. We'll see what happens. See what else I have on here. It was also confirmed that Ray Stevenson's character, Balin Scroll, will appear in Ahsoka Season 2, so they're going to be looking to recast that role, which is fantastic. I don't think these characters have to pass away and be retired when the actor who portrayed them bow out. Ray Stevenson did an immaculate job in that role. He, again, like every moment he was on screen, you just gravitated towards his character. The way that he was dueling with his lightsaber, his presence, just the way he carried himself, it was fantastic. I'm going to hate to see him go, so I'm hoping they really find a good actor to fill his boots. Because he's
they're going to actually film him from the back, and they're going to show him take his lightsaber and bend over and just kind of flick his thing, and then
wow,
it's going to be a whole new actor.
It's like an Iron Man 2 when Rhodey walks in for the first time and Robert Downey Jr. says, "I didn't expect to see you here." Well, it's me. Get over it. Let's move on. The kind of little meta nod to replacing the actor. Oh my gosh. Well, we got some books, Paul. It was a massive week for comics. This isn't counting the ones I picked up to do the giveaway on every Tuesday. You know, I have my new DC Day stream, and I run a weekly giveaway on Tuesday, but that's not counting the trade paperbacks I picked up either. Massive week, man. This was
huge.
All right, so I'm going to peel some off the top real quick, and we're going to breeze through a couple of these real quick. So House of Brainiac wrapped up. Absolute Power started. So you had literally Action Comics and Superman released on the same date. You get to see the fantastic conclusion to House of Brainiac and how it leads into and services Absolute Power, which kicked off this week officially with Ground Zero, which is the who's who and a where's where of Amanda Waller kind of book. My wife hates Amanda Waller. She went, ugh. But those three, plus you have 2 countdowns to Absolute Power in Green Arrow and The Flash. So all 5 of those, Paul and I spent time deep diving on, and those will all come up like beat for beat in a video tomorrow at 10 a.m. on his channel. So if you want to keep up with how House of Brainiac ended, be sure to check that. I thought it was great. But if you want to know what happens in the book, if you're not reading it or anything, you can follow along with whatever big DC event is happening with that weekly series that we post over there, counting tie-ins and everything else. So if you don't want to invest in the event or the crossover or whatever's happening, we do it for you. But just know House of Brainiac was tough. It was well executed. It had a beautiful ending to it. Tons of great nods to a lot of DC history. And it's definitely got me excited for Absolute Power. It's going to be insane. Speaking of Dune, have I read everything? I thought I read everything. Oh, yeah, I'm waiting on this to finish. Yeah, the new Dune House Carino came out. Well, that's a wicked cover right there.
Yeah.
That is absolutely nuts. So I think this is only 5 or 6 issues, so I'm about to the point where I'll bust those open and read them.
Going back to, did you notice in all the DC books this week they had the ad for All Winter, and how they announced variant cover by Francisco Mantina. Yeah,
that was great.
Or not.
I'm getting them. Yeah, there was a Matina cover that did come out this week, but it was kind of a bland cover. All right, so Marvel did kick off those variants we were talking about by reprinting Godzilla King of the Monsters issue number 1. So I picked one of those up. I have the book, but I wanted this reprint. Probably give it to Finn. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. Maybe not, maybe so. But I also got the foil version. Let's go. That was great to see. And they had the same cover price.
Yeah.
Do you happen to get you one of those?
I did. Coming soon to Guess That Key giveaway soon.
Very cool. Hope I win it. And then just staying on the train here, Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 3. This is volume 2 of this series. This is really fun. This is just pure fan service. At this point, Rita has teamed up with Astronema. She has used her like magic to bring these putty creatures to life. She's merged her monsters with Astronema's Psycho Rangers. So now you have like monster ranger, bad guy monster creatures. So what, like the Power Rangers historically have these power morphers that, they can activate their Zords. Their Zords are modeled after living creatures on the planet. Like they were formed back in the Jurassic era. That's why they were modeled after dinosaurs. What they did in this, though, they retooled them with the help of Jet Jaguar, and they juiced up the Zords based off of the Godzilla Toho good guy gallery. You have like Anguirus, you have Mothra, you have King Caesar, you have Baragon, and those are now the Zords that the Power Rangers are rocking, and Rodan. Like I'm like super duper hyped, and that's how it ended. So it's getting fun. What's one that there's a lot of Power Ranger and Godzilla this week? Look at this. It just keeps coming. Did you just headbutt the door? Okay. What you got there, Paul? It froze out for a second. Is that this?
Zatanna? Yes.
Yes, I bought one.
It?
Give it away. I have not had it. No, I refuse to.
No, this will be your absolute favorite Zatanna issue ever. Because
Are you being sarcastic?
No, because Zatanna appears in the entire thing, but there is not one backwards line.
Does she cast spells at all?
Yes.
But they're not doing the backwards talk.
Does she cast spells? I guess that's to be determined. She has magic tricks and things like that, but
I don't want to invest in this series and then issue 2 be like me. I just can't do it.
I just figured that would be your absolute favorite issue of Zatanna because she's in the entire thing and she doesn't.
What's
you
it
don't
about?
have to read anything backwards.
Fill us in. What is the
basically
plot?
is about her start. Basically, she but it basically has a lot to do with her father as well. There were demons that come and everything. So, but it has about her start and everything, and how she moves from doing card tricks and things like that to where she is now. So, but we're not at that point yet. She's still just doing card tricks, and then there's a demon that is affecting her and her father. So
Zatara is her father. First appeared in Action Comics issue number 1 alongside someone else. Can't remember exactly.
Slam Bradley.
That's it. Oh gosh. So it was pretty solid though. You enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're an Art Germ fan, then the foil way is the way to go.
Yeah, it was pretty nice cover. I saw it. I'm like, I'm giving that away. I always try to get a lovely lady cover for those Tuesday giveaways. People like them lovely lady covers.
What do they used to call them in the women in turmoil or something, like the good girl covers, right?
Good girl covers. Yeah, I was calling porn. Godzilla, Son of Dragons got a second volume, or Here There Be Dragons. Volume 2, Son of Giants, legitimately a prequel to the last one. They had this like ancient secret order that was aware of Godzilla and stuff. The first volume was about pirating days. Like think of Pirates of the Caribbean, Hidden Treasure, but it's unfortunately on Monster Island. In this volume, we're going back before then. Raymond Burr. Oh my God, who shot Hamilton?
Van Buren?
No, Burr. Something Burr.
Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr. I couldn't get Raymond Burr off my brain because of God.
And when you said
Godzilla.
Raymond, I made Van Buren instead.
Yeah, but Aaron Burr's like someone comes to him and says, I have this coin, and on the coin it has a picture of Godzilla, and he responds like he knows what it's about, and he's wanting to talk with him about it and get to the bottom of this mystery. And they go outside to talk because it's not safe inside, and he gets a bag thrown over his head and drug into a carriage and taken to the lair of this secret society that's more than aware of these monsters that roam the world that the general public isn't aware of at all. So we're getting into secret societies. You're also getting to see how Godzilla is the one that stomped out the Roman Empire, which was really dope. There's a little nod to his little time in Rome and New Empire here recently, but it was so well done. And Naki Miranda is on the art. I can't stress enough this Here There Be Dragons book. It was like a 6-issue miniseries, and this is volume 2. This is not a standard corny fan service kind of Godzilla book. This is like a legitimate, like, adapt this into a movie now type book. Like, they're really good. I highly recommend these.
Well, you said Raymond Burr, right? Because he was in the American version of the original
1985.
Godzilla, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, he was in the original one when
Original.
Right, when they Americanized it.
When they Americanized it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's too many Burrs.
Mhm.
Power Rangers Darkest Hour 121. We're getting to the end of this. This is so packed with so many different dimensions of Rangers and plot lines. There's no way to synopsize this. If you're reading it, you already know it's fantastic. If you've never read any Power Ranger comics, this is not the one to start. This is the weeds. We are in the weeds of deep lore and trying to bring everything in to wrap up like a year-long event they've been doing with Darkest Hour, but it's been super solid. Did you ever read this?
Number 6? Not yet.
Yeah.
It just arrived
Haven't
yesterday.
Okay. I haven't read it yet either. I just found that in there. What else you read this week? Oh, yeah. I read the hell out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Read the hell out of that right there. That red coat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good story, and it's all about the acts of lies this time. So it starts off talking about George Washington and how he chopped down a cherry tree, and then he admitted to his father that he cannot tell a lie, which is a lie in itself because that's not the way things went. He basically blamed it on his neighbor. His father had his neighbor and his wife thrown in jail.
Then he took the axe into battle as he grew up, and it
Right.
really built up a dark power to it. Became the
Right.
axe of lies.
Right, and so they're in Benedict Arnold's mansion. They find a secret room in the back that has a whole bunch of like dinosaur bones and other things that are there. And then Albert Einstein basically with the axe and everything, they do some more things. And they basically they leave at the very end. They find Simon Pure is basically on this table, surrounded by all of the red hooded people again. And that's
Yeah,
where
the
we
little
end.
cult.
Yeah.
Cult catch up to him. I was about to say at Raymond Burr's house. Oh my God. At Benedict Arnold's house and chase him out. And they go on like a high-speed carriage ride and dealing with some magic. They got a book, though. They got a book from Benedict Arnold that
Right.
usually have some information that
Right.
Einstein can use to kind of, I don't know, like back reverse engineer what's going on with Simon and help him unlock some untapped potential that could potentially save his life from this wound that he has from the axe of lies. Fast-paced, funny at times, amazing art, leaves you on a cliffhanger. I'm loving the dynamic of this book. I would liken it to Johnny Depp's character in Pirates of the Caribbean. Jack Sparrow is a great comparison for Simon Pure, where he's just a pretty irredeemable kind of person, and he's always falling upward somehow, but it's just really fun. It has a swashbuckling feel to it. I like all the crisscrossing into American history. I really enjoyed the George Washington stuff a lot, and how the axe of lies is actually George Washington's axe that he chopped down the cherry tree with, the historically famous truthful axe, which it is definitely not in this case.
Right. And he ends up on this table after he does this incantation from the book that Albert Einstein has, and he does it forwards. He doesn't do it backwards. So there's none of that.
Yeah. He attempts to use a little bit of magic to throw at the people chasing them, and it doesn't work. They blow up their own carriage,
Right.
get themselves kidnapped.
Mhm.
I didn't see Einstein in there though, so hopefully he'll be a saving grace.
Right.
Rolling on with Ghost Machine, we got 2 Ghost Machine drops this week, and holy potatoes, this was a fantastic issue. We got Rook Exodus issue number 3. Featured on the cover there is a whole swarm of animals, as well as Rook hooked up to something. And at the bottom, it's the first cover appearance of our Turtle Warden. As well as
Carapace.
say it again.
Carapace.
Carapace. And his giant turtles that are geared up with all kinds of guns, and it's like a battleship, but on the back of a turtle. This was fantastic. You have Rook, you have Direwolf, realizing they can't do things on their own. They need help, so they go to this outpost that we found out the wardens that stayed behind actually had to argue with Better World to leave it behind, because next to the World Engine, it's the second most important place on Exodus. It houses pretty much the technological brain that powers all of these warden masks to a degree, or helps them to tie in with the animals. And watching over this place is none other than Carapax. He's been on Exodus for a long time. He's been in this program for a long time. He's the warden of the turtles, and kind of like the old wise guy, not in a mafia way, but in just an old wise turtle kind of way. And they're there trying to tie in and tap into this device so they can reach out to all the other wardens that are on Exodus that bring them all in, and try to gather their resources, because Ursal is on their asses. And we find out in this, not only is Ursal, but he has other renegades like himself that are out to try to kill the wardens, take their masks, and use them to rule over this planet. We're introduced to the warden of the Python, who he has on his side already, and she's rocking the warden mask. And we see that Swine, who he killed in the end of issue 1, he's already bestowed the what is it, the wild boar,
Yep,
the wild boar mask to the next guy, and dubbed him another name as well. So you now have 3 wardens that are coming as villains.
and if you're big on first appearances, this has like 10 first appearances of different
At
wardens in
least.
it. Yeah.
And it's really cool how they showcase them all. You get the name of, you get like the actual like a taxonomy name of the animal. You get the actual name of the animal and the name of the character, and you get like a little shot of them in with their little tribe. We get some wild ones. You get people that are wardening over insects, rabbits, foxes, just all kinds of stuff. It was really cool. Really cool. Can't say how excited I am. And of course, you got the B cover featuring Direwolf. So these little mask covers are pretty cool. Pretty cool. So we've gotten Rook, Swine, and Direwolf. You just cut these out, put a string through them, and just wear them. And next, then issue 4 is Ursal. Excited for that as well.
And they're doing them as, I think they're the foil ones too, I think.
Yeah, the ratios. Yeah, I don't need a foil mask. You take it out in sunlight, blind somebody. I didn't talk about it last week, but Energon Universe is still rocking and rolling. Destro started. This is written by Dan Waters. If that name sounds familiar, it's because you read Detective Comics. Dan Waters has been doing a lot of stuff in the backup stories over there. He's also done stuff for that Arkham World book, which was hauntingly good. Just fantastic writer, and Destro is no exception. You have Destro just kind of invading a nation using his resources and his tech that he has that's helped by the technology of Energon that he was introduced to by Cobra Commander. Violent, hard-hitting, villainous stuff right here, showcasing the rise of Cobra along with Mars Industry. So the 2 superpowers combined, the outcome is looking like it's Cobra. What did you got this week, Paul?
Besides what we talked about, we have, speaking of Detective Comics.
Go ahead. What'd you think?
It was good. It's funny because I've been doing some reading of the old Teen Titans, like the original Teen Titans stuff, from like the late '60s and early '70s.
Like
And that
Brave
was
and the Bold era Teen Titans stuff?
right after that, when they got their own magazine.
Yeah.
And that was where Dula Dent was actually was first seen, and she was a pretty important part of this particular issue.
Yep, it was cool seeing the whole Bat family get together again. Well, this book's version of it, we watched Catwoman have to scramble all her resources and all the people she knew to try to save Bruce Wayne's life at the hanging about 6 months ago. Now that he is returned in some capacity, a very unique capacity, almost like just sheer raw Batman capacity. The suit is cool. He has just like has like a rough painted on bat symbol. He's like
Oh, yeah.
real gritty, like real nuts and bolts. And he's gone and he's started recruiting. And most importantly, most excitingly for me, is Azrael is in here now. Finally, been waiting on Azrael to show up since he went full murder mode on the Orgham's Asmir army some months back. But they're getting their resources together, heroes and villains alike, and most notably, Joker is finally out to play. Catwoman went and, like you pointed out before, Ron V has done a fantastic job of taking us at a great pace, bringing in the entire rogues gallery of Batman at some point or another through this Gotham Nocturna saga. One thing they haven't done is played with the Joker until Catwoman, a few issues back at the little stinger into the issue, went to talk to the Joker because they just don't have enough help. They need the Clown Prince of Crime, which is a dangerous game to play. And he rolls into this issue scary as hell, and it was to Duel of Den of all people.
Right. He's basically pushing her, like, and slowly pushing her to, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's poking her to do
Murder.
some stuff. Exactly.
Yeah.
That
He's
we'll
trying to
see.
activate a psychopath.
Yeah. I think we only have, I think it's like 3 more issues with Ron B, I think.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome to see how this all comes to a head. Yeah, so Duel of Dent was in like almost like it seemed like a witness protection Pleasantville setting. Great old elderly couple, neighbors, this and that, and real sweet. And Joker comes up, it's out of nowhere, out of the blue, and starts like poking and prodding her. And she, of course, she knows him and reveals to her that he's like taking the neighbor's cat and put it in the microwave, and they're all going to think it's her. Like, and that your life here is ruined. What else can you do but come back? It was demented. It was demented. What else did you read this week?
That's all I got other than the ones that we cover tomorrow morning.
Awesome. Well, the penultimate issue of Tom King's Penguin dropped this week. Are you reading this?
I am. It came in. It came on Saturday. So
okay, you remember a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of issues ago, when we got that shot of all the dead bodies in the staircase of Penguin's son dead, and then blaming Penguin for it, and we go back and we see the events of that occurring. In this issue, the ball drops on Penguin. Batman knows he's been feeding him bad information all these years. Batman hangs him out to dry and informs the criminal underworld that he has been an informant for Batman for years. So everyone's coming for them. Their gloves are off. Penguin has no allies, has no help. The Force of July is gone. His femme fatale is gone. His kids are coming for him, and he couldn't be more pitiful. Well, they show up in mass to go shut down the snitch, and they come up the stairs, and who opens the door? None other than the Force of July, who you thought was gone, and they all just shoot each other to a bloody end, to the point of realizing that they walked into what Penguin was expecting, and he executed his kid right there on the spot. Can't keep a good bird down. This guy is tough, man. Super tough. Also, Void Rivals. Go ahead.
Speaking of the Penguin, it was confirmed this week that Robert Pattinson will be appearing in the Penguin series.
Let's go. Even if he's just as Bruce Wayne, I think that's huge news because, we didn't get any Bruce Wayne in the Batman film. He was only Batman. He was Batman when he was wearing the suit, and he was Batman when he wasn't. So we might get some character development of that pushing him to you are a public figure, you have to be present in some capacity. That'd be interesting if we get that too. I was thinking about that. I don't think Matt Reeves is going to let us down at all. That show looks amazing.
Right. And did we have and we got the first trailer of Batman the Caped Crusader this week as well.
Holy crap, yeah, that was good. Paul Dini went above and beyond. It is a good time to be a Batman fan. We have Bruce. Yeah, we have a long wait before Matt Reeves' Batman number 2.
Mm-hmm.
A long wait. So it's good that we have this show in between.
Right. All episodes drop August 1st.
All
of them.
I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that so much. God, I like weekly stuff so much better.
Mm.
Void Rivals number 10. This has been the linchpin of the Energon universe. It's what kicked it off. It's what's been giving us Easter eggs all along the way. Well, they did the big reveal, the big reveal. They explained why we are following these two sci-fi characters in this book that keeps dabbling its toes in Transformer stuff. Well, because legend has it, back in the day, eons ago, before the Great War took place, there was one Transformer, Terra or Orion, or kind of sounded like Orion, Terra Orion, or something like that, who left Cybertron to go forge her own path, and she pretty much built this own planet. And it turns out the planet that she built is the one that these people are from. That was discovered when Solara, our main character, was mortally wounded, and they took her mask off so that Springer, the Transformer, could take a look at her and saw this symbol on her head, which all of these races have. He goes, that's an Energon port. Y'all literally run and live based off an Energon. So these are sentient humanoids that were created by one of the earliest Transformers that left Cybertron. It was like, it was so cool, man. I'm loving this book so much. We also follow up on the big fight with Proximus and Springer. That dude is a force to be reckoned with. Springer finally drops an anvil on him. You think he kills him, but it looks like he has like some kind of like Darth Vader-esque thing going on with like robot leg, arm, and that was all that remained. Looked like whatever like original body pieces might be left got away, and just the robotic parts were left behind. But good stuff all around. Good stuff all around. It's been a fantastic week.
I am done with mine.
Yeah, what did you think of the Cape Crusader trailer?
I liked it. It definitely Bruce Timm had talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but they're basically, they're setting it in like the 40s. You're not going to see any futuristic. You're not going to see cell phones or flip phones or anything like that. It's basically a period piece. And if you look at even the Batman, what they're using, I mean, he's got the gloves, the very short gloves. The ears are kind of, back to where they were. Yeah, exactly. When he first came out. So it's very much a period piece set back in the 40s. So, hey, Travis.
What is going on, Sir Timothy Nerdy? Yeah, I think that's going to play to the strength of the show. Batman the Animated Series, even if it was released, if the Batman the Animated Series was released today and looked like it does, it's not per se a period piece. It just takes place in its own type of world. So I like that idea, getting away from phones. It gives them the ability to be a detective, to investigate, and just, I don't know, I like the way that the villains were drawn in such a familiar yet original style. I'm excited for this Harley Quinn that's kind of a role reversal of kind of like quirky and weird when she's in her doctor attire, but like methodical and dangerous as Harley Quinn. Two-Face looked cool as hell too. No, seeing the rogues in general was just awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't really know. I mean, I guess the guy who does the voice for Batman was in Midnight Mass, the show Midnight Mass, which I've never seen, but he sounded incredible.
Yeah, he sounded really good. I'm excited for it. When does that release? Is that October?
August 1st.
That's August 1st also? Mm-hmm. So the Penguin and that is August 1st?
No. The Penguin is not August 1st. I don't recall exactly what day it is.
I thought that's the one you said is August 1st, all episodes. Okay.
No, the Cape Crusader is all episodes August 1st on Prime.
Oh. That'll be a little bit easier to watch for the kids. But it's like, hey, y'all shut up and watch this with me. They're like, okay. Yeah, they'll enjoy that. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff to look forward to. The Acolyte ending being a top priority of things to look forward to. House of the Dragon episode 3 now available on HBO Max right now. And we checking in every week with what's going on with that, all the way up into the point of getting the next stuff. That should get us to the next stuff. Because July is for
well, they get us.
Yeah, that'll get us right up to August 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So we could easily switch over and do the Cape Crusader.
And Penguin.
Even if it drops all at once, we can still take it an episode or two a week.
Right. Penguin is, I think, in October. That's the one that we're thinking of, I believe.
Yeah, man, I can't wait for that. That looks amazing. And that picks up right where the movie left off to a degree. To a degree.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane. But that's gonna do it for tonight. I appreciate everybody watching. Oh, next week. Next week. Adventurous Joe made sure to mention it earlier, and I already forgot. The shameless plug, you're welcome. Speaking of giveaways, make sure you join the Legion Army in order to be part of this month's Legion Loot giveaway, which is going to be massive. Hashtag We Are Legion. If everyone remembers, this is the big 2-month giveaway. I backed them up backed up the funds in order to do a bigger giveaway, and I'll happily show you what we're going to be drawing for.
Not giving me away.
I mean, unless y'all are paying. Y'all paying? So, with Deadpool coming out next month, so next month will be July 7th is next Sunday, and that'll be the last Sunday before I go on vacation. It'll be the first Sunday of the month, and it'll be the month that Deadpool hits theaters. So that's really exciting. I know a lot of people are excited. I'm excited. I love me some Deadpool movies. Most of all, I'm excited to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine back, whether it be in Deadpool or anything else. This is the swan song for the X-Men that we've had for the past 25 years. So let's go out with a bang. And I can't think of a better way to do it than with Deadpool. Just a shame Disney's involved, but maybe they won't mess it up. Maybe the people behind this movie had enough creative control to make it work out. So to celebrate, giving away New Mutants 98, the first appearance of Deadpool, Gideon, Copycat, aka Domino, until it's not Domino, but that is an actual first print original New Mutants 98. So you can be the proud owner of that, but you might not want to read that one. So I do have the reprint. There's a reader copy, and you might want to keep those in a box where the sunlight don't fade them, but you want to keep this one out so the sunlight can shine all over it. That foil copy. I think these might be like a Mexican variant on the inside. I'm not sure. I haven't opened this one, and I'm not going to because I don't.
It's not a Mexican variant. It's a regular one.
And then to celebrate Wolverine being in the movie, the first full appearance of the Weapon X costume and stuff in Marvel Comics Presents, issue number 79. A little bit of Wolverine goodness. I can't give away the first appearance of Wolverine, unfortunately. I've already done that. Deadpool number 3, the Joe Jusko variant, because that's just awesome. Mm-hmm. That'll be in there. Everyone's still talking about some Dazzler. I got the movie photo cover, not movie, but the photo cover, newsstand version of Dazzler issue number 21. And then for the big time collectible edition, we have Deadpool, the Taco Time little video game cover. Tyler Kirkham, Star Wars issue number 25. Venom 30 something, the John Jang variant right there. Flash number 1 foil logo cover. And then because it kicks ass, Ghost Machine number 1, signed by Jeff Johns. Geiger number 1, the Yvonne Reese variant, signed by Jeff Johns. I love that, featuring the monster right there on the cover. I'm excited for some Hyde Street. And then Rook Exodus number 1, signed by Jeff Johns. So 3 Jeff Johns signatures in there. Junkyard Joe number 1, Paul's LCS exclusive Coliseum of Comics cover art done by Brad Anderson. That's your colors for all this stuff. Ghost Machine up to this point did that cover right there. Love me some Junkyard Joe. It's July. We're going to be celebrating the country's birthday. What a beautiful cover to have in there for that. And then Space Ghost number 1, Frank Cho foil virgin variant. This series is amazing. This series is so good. I love that cover. And then I don't care how controversial it is. Paul, you ain't got to clutch your pearls. I've seen you tense up. The Francisco Latina variant cover of the year, Space Ghost number 2. This thing is glorious. Whoever wins this, wait till you get a hand. It wasn't a cheap book either. A $30 price tag on that bad boy. AI ain't cheap.
Exactly.
But yeah, I got that in there. So it's a pretty substantial giveaway, and that's not even all. That's not even all. Also included in there, the final 2 pieces we have from Deadpool Marvel Comics artist Jerry DeCar, an actual original Deadpool art piece that I got from him when he was here locally at ABX Comics and Games. He drew a Deadpool for me and signed it, as well as a Superman. I'm keeping my Superman one. He's a Deadpool artist, so I made sure to get a Deadpool one for this. And the Hot Wheels Premium Metal Deadpool scooter, signed, remarked, and chiseled by Rob Liefeld himself. I bought this from Rob Liefeld himself from his Whatnot.
Very nice.
I won this on the Whatnot. I buy a lot of stuff from Liefeld on his Whatnot for a while there. But yeah, that's going to in there with it as well. Little scooter on there. What does it say? Tactical chimmy delivery. So it's just chimichanga scooter. So all that is going in the leader. So good luck to all the channel members. Be sure to check out the membership if you're not a channel member. You can join the channel for as little as $1.99 to be in the supporter tier, but to be in the tier that's eligible for Legion loot, it is the Legion tier, which I believe is $5. So yeah, be sure to check that out. I appreciate everybody watching. Tomorrow video comes out as like normal. Don't remember what it is, but it'll be out. And don't forget to check out the deep dive. You can follow Sector 2815 here on YouTube just by hitting the link in the description. And until next time, as always, I'm Mark. That's Paul. But we are Legion. You're not leaving Sector
You're not leaving Sector 2815.